This guy built a $2 trillion empire from the passenger seat of a beat-up car. No office, no funding, just a laptop and a decision that looked completely stupid at the time. And today, his company makes over $1 million every single minute. But here's the twist. He didn't win because he was the smartest. He won because he understood one thing before everyone else. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. 1964, Albuquerque. A baby is born to teenage mother. His biological father disappears almost immediately. No money, no privilege, no clear future. Then something unexpected happens. A Cuban immigrant named Mike Bezos adopts him, gives him a new name, Jeff Bezos. Now here's what's interesting. Most success stories start with talent. This one starts with obsession. As a kid, Jeff wasn't just smart. He was intense. The kind of kid who would fix things just to understand how they worked. The kind who would read not for school, but because he was curious about everything. And then came the moment that should have been a warning sign. At his high school graduation, he stood on stage and said, "I want to build hotels in space." Space. Hotels. That's the difference. Most people dream inside reality. He was already thinking beyond it. Fast forward. Princeton University. Electrical engineering plus computer science. Double major. Because why pick one way to win? He graduates near the top, gets into Wall Street, and starts climbing fast. By 30, he's already a senior vice president asterisk at one of the most elite hedge funds. Money, heavy. Status, heavy. Security, heavy. He basically won life early. But then, one number ruins everything. The internet is growing at asterisk 2, 300% per year. Let that sink in. Not 23%. Asterisk 2, 300%. This wasn't a trend. This was a tidal wave. And Jeff saw it before almost anyone else. Now here, where most people get it wrong. They think success comes from big ideas. It doesn't. He makes a list. 20 business ideas. Online music. Online clothes. Online software. But one idea refuses to go away. Books. Not sexy. Not exciting. Not revolutionary. But strategically. Perfect. Millions of SKUs. Standardized products. Easy to ship. No physical store could ever compete with that variety. Books weren't the goal. They were the entry point. Now comes the moment that defines everything. He walks into his boss's office and says, "I'm quitting to sell books on the internet." In 1994, his boss pauses and says, "That sounds like a great idea for someone who doesn't already have a good job." That line alone has stopped millions of people in life. Why risk it? Why leave comfort? Why gamble? Most people would have stayed. Jeff didn't. He uses something he later calls the asterisk, regret minimization framework. So he quits, convinces his wife to quit too, and they start driving across the country. New York, right arrow, Seattle. And this is where history quietly begins. While she drives, Jeff sits in the passenger seat, typing the business plan. No startup incubator. No pitch deck. But here's something most people don't know. It almost had a terrible name. Cadabra. Like abracadabra. Until his lawyer misheard it as cadaver. Yeah, not exactly great branding. He also loved the name asterisk relentless. In fact, even today, relentless.com still redirects to Amazon. But finally, he chose Amazon. Why? Because it starts with A, and because it's the biggest river in the world. That wasn't branding. That was a signal. He wasn't building a bookstore. He was building the Everything Store. 1995. The website goes live. First order. A random technical book. Not a bestseller. Not impressive. But it didn't matter. Because then came another order. And another. And another. At first, Jeff rang a bell for every sale. Until they had to stop. Because the bell wouldn't stop ringing. Customers from all 50 states. Then from other countries. And suddenly, this stupid idea didn't look so stupid anymore. But here's the brutal truth. Amazon was a mess. People working with no sleep. Packing orders manually. Fixing bugs on the fly. At one point, a book was accidentally listed for $23 million. Mistakes everywhere. But speed. Relentless. Because Jeff had one philosophy. Get big fast. Not perfect. Not polished. Vast. 1997. Amazon goes public. And here's the crazy part. They're not even profitable. Analysts call it a joke. Some literally call it Amazon toast. But Jeff tells investors one thing. Focus on long-term growth. Most people didn't believe him. The few who did became insanely wealthy. Then came a move that looked insane. Customer reviews. Letting people criticize products. On your own platform. Every traditional retailer thought this was suicide. Jeff thought differently. Trust builds loyalty. And he was right. People didn't just shop anymore. They stayed. They explored. They trusted. And that trust became Amazon's biggest advantage. But then, everything almost collapsed. Year 2000. The dot-com crash. Tech companies start dying overnight. Amazon's stock falls. From $100 to $6. Headlines predict bankruptcy. Inside the company. Panic. Layoffs. Cuts. Fear. This was the moment. Die. Or transform. And this is where Jeff becomes dangerous. He doesn't panic. He becomes surgical. Cuts costs. Fixes operations. Focuses only on what works. While competitors disappear. Amazon survives. And survival changes everything. Because now, it's no longer just a company. It's a machine. Then come the power moves. 2005. Amazon Prime. Free 2-day shipping. Unlimited. Everyone thinks it's financial suicide. But Jeff understands something psychological. Once people get used to convenience, they never go back. Prime didn't just increase sales. It changed behavior. Then, the biggest hidden weapon, AWS, originally built for internal use, then quietly launched to the world. And suddenly, companies aren't just competing with Amazon. They're paying Amazon. Netflix, startups, enterprises. Amazon wasn't just a store anymore. It became the infrastructure of the internet. And that's when it became unstoppable. But success has a cost. Criticism grows. Regulators step in. Sellers complain. Employees speak out. The same machine that created convenience was now being questioned. And right at the peak, Jeff Bezos does something unexpected. 2021. He steps down as CEO. No drama. No collapse. Just leaves. After building one of the most powerful companies in history. Why? Because Amazon was never the end goal. Remember the kid who talked about space hotels? He never forgot. Today, through Blue Origin, he's chasing the same dream. Not just building companies, but trying to move humanity beyond Earth. And suddenly, that crazy kid doesn't sound so crazy anymore. Because maybe Amazon wasn't the final destination. It was just the launch pad,